Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'll be showing you a couple of cool AI tools and advancements that you might not have heard of. So let's begin. First, we have this dimension reduction attack, or DRA for short. What this does is that they took a video generation model and said, since videos are basically still images, why not make that model be our image generation, since video generation models basically predict the next frame or the next image. So that's what they did. Let's dive deeper. They have this handy example. They have other examples too, but let's focus on the cat. First, start with the condition image. This is the initial frame or image that we're gonna start, that we want to transform. We give it a target image prompt, what we want this image to be transformed into, and we give it a condition image prompt. What this means is that, so it doesn't stray too far, it doesn't go like from a cat to a human or anything creepy like that. So that's the basic gist. This is basically how it works in simple terms. Let's check a couple of examples. Colorization. As you can see, we can go from black and white to fully colored images with this. I hope you guys see the vision on all of this. And that vision is that any AI tool, no matter what the purpose of it is, it can be used in other fields. So by that I mean video generation model doesn't necessarily mean it has to be stuck in video generation. You can find clever ways to use it for other things. So that has been DRA. And of course, since this is an open source project, you can go to GitHub and you will find the code here in the bubble here. All you have to do is just follow the instructions. Just scroll down a bit. As you can see it already has a requirements.txt, thank God, because some don't get. But just install the requirements, and all you have to do to get started is just run this command, and you'll be set to use this locally. The second tool, it's this long writer model. Long writer is unleashing 10,000 plus word generation from long context LLMs. Now, why is this important? Well, 10,000 plus words is very huge. Some of the best models struggle with that. What I mean by that is that, of course, they can generate 10,000 plus, but eventually, gradually, without noticing, the context gets lost. So the model gets lost. It starts saying nonsense, and we don't want that. Long Writer is here to fix that. So if we go to the Hugging Face page, so Long Writer 0 is based on the Qwen 2.5 32B base model. It's completely open source. Since the base model is open source, if we scroll down a bit, we can see a couple of benchmarks. And what we see from here is that it rivals and sometimes exceeds closed source and some of the strongest open source models around. So as you can see, Long Writer 0 is, for example, in English an 8.6. The highest one is the Qwen 3 model with 8.6. Alright, GPT-4o, it's 8.1. O1 preview, it's 8.2. DeepSeek R1, 8.5. And if we check the ILO score, it's very much surpassing those models. So that has been the benchmark. As you saw, it was very impressive. But why did I choose Long Writer 0 over the original Long Writer? Because simply Long Writer 0 is the newer and better version of Long Writer. And since it's open source, it's on Hugging Face, you can use it. As you can see, go to files and versions, for example, you'll have everything right there. So that has been Long Writer 0. Moving on is something that you might have missed. If we go to Google AI Studio, this is important. The engine for the image generation that's for Gemini has been released in this studio, so you can use it for free. How do you do that? Well, it's very simple. Go to Generate Media, go to Imagen. If we go to the right, we can see that we have all the image gen 4 models. We have 4, 4 Ultra, and 3.0. Now, what we care about is just 4 and 4 Ultra. I think the names are self-explanatory. 4 is for the regular. 4 Ultra is the better version. So let's give it a test drive. We'll pick 4 Ultra. I'll just try it. I want a newer detective smoking a cigarette. So that's what I give it. And we just run it and wait for it. And it's done generating. And I gotta say, it looks pretty good. Of course, we can choose the aspect ratio. Also, keep in mind that in the studio, it's limited for the number of generations. So if you want unlimited use, you can always get it through the API. If you do not know how to get the API, it's simple. Just go to here, get API key, generate a key, and you're all set. Keep in mind that Gemini is generous, so you have a lot of tokens and the usage out of it. And a neat trick is just that if you don't want to pay and want to using it, just always create different accounts and you'll be set for life. That's been image gen 4, but Google doesn't stop there. Give us something interesting, which is this AlphaGenome, which is Google DeepMind's model for deciphering DNA sequences. Not just any code, but DNA code. Now, this is very interesting and very impressive. AlphaGenome is found in an API that you can freely use, just get the API. And to get a better understanding, this is the GitHub. They have all the docs, how to use it, an explanation of what it does, but I can't tell anything from this. And I'm sure a lot of people can't tell. So if you go to their page, they give us this 18-second video, which explains how AlphaGenome works. You just give it a DNA sequence. It has 1 million base, so all these characters are repeated 1 million times. You give it to AlphaGenome, and AlphaGenome deciphers this code. Like it gives you the gene expression, the splicing, the chromatin contact maps, a lot of stuff that quite honestly is impressive, but it goes over my head. But this is a huge step. This is something important to show that AI is capable of working in the most complex fields imaginable. And finally, Gemini CLI. Now, this is kind of important for users and developers alike because this is the equivalent of Claude CLI. So, OpenAI has their own one with Codex, Claude has their own one, and now Gemini has their own one, powered by Gemini 2.5. So this is amazing. So now Gemini has you covered. So it's open source. That's a great part. So expect a lot of improvements from the community. Already we have like over 4.2k folks. So personally, I'm expecting some amazing stuff from this. And yeah, and it's relatively easy to run. Just you only need Node.js version 18 or higher, and just run the commands, and you're all set. So yeah, that has been it for today in the advancement in the AI world. Of course, there are many more. Most likely, we did miss a few. So if you have any, just leave them down in the comments. And just to go over what we saw today, we saw a video generation model being repurposed for image generation. We saw a model that's exceeding closed source in generating long format text without losing context. We saw Gemini CLI, which is finally Google's answer to Claude and OpenAI in terms of CLI coders, as we like to call them. We saw AlphaGenome, huge advancement showing that AI can work in any field and can accomplish one of the most complex tasks. So yeah, again, if you enjoyed, guys, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join our community and check out our shop. Maybe you will find some interesting workflows that will help you in your work or your business. And I'll be seeing you in the next video. Goodbye.